It's time to get out of pocket. Today, the UNC Tar Heels re-signed Hubert Davis as their head coach. Tonight, we get the Lakers and Mavericks, and we got a tight end coming back, and we might have another tight end returning. We have a loaded show for you today on Out of Pocket with Michael Davis. We are live on Boom Broadcasting. We appreciate you guys supporting us. And if you guys enjoy this show, if you enjoy sports talk, and we got a lot of other stuff rather than sports talk, there's a TV review podcast, so on and so forth. We are the place for you. So just go ahead, hit that subscribe button right there on our YouTube channel. We appreciate all of you guys. But Hubert Davis extended with the UNC Tar Heels. He has a 96-42 record as the Tar Heels head coach, but he could miss the tournament twice in 3 years. My personal opinion, obviously, I'm repping the better of the Blues today. But what I think about this move is it's almost like taking your kid to the park and getting ice cream and maybe going to the movies and bringing them back and just loading them up with candy when they're throwing a little tantrum or they're misbehaving. I feel the exact same way with what UNC did today with Hubert Davis because he is in jeopardy of missing a 68-team March Madness bracket twice in 3 years. It's not the rest of the seasons, but it's just a little bit inconsistent for me. But that's a Duke fan saying it. Right now, I am joined by the guy who chooses the worst of the Blues, but he's a UNC fan. You also know him from QuickHits, and he is also known as my broadcast partner for Squared Circle Champions. And he is podcast_Smitty. Shannon Smith here in the building. Shannon, it's great to have you back on. And as soon as I saw this news hit for Hubert Davis, I was like, man, I really hope Shannon's available because, dude, I'm just kind of like, I get it. Like, there is a good record to be had. But when you talk about UNC's traditions and their prestige, I don't know if this was the appropriate time to give him this extension. What's your reaction as a Tar Heels fan?
I'm okay with it, to be honest with you. They gave him 2 years. They didn't give him 5. They didn't give him 7. They didn't give him a lifetime. And I don't know why everybody's tripping because it's 2 years, and that's fine. Yes, I know that it has been pretty tough this year being a Tar Heel fan. I get it. He had a big blowout loss to Duke this year, and that was very, very tough to swallow. That was something that got a lot of fans of mine to say, oh, he needs to go. It's never been that bad. This is what needs to be understood. It's called building a program, everybody. They were saying the same thing last year, and they were saying the same thing the year before when Carolina went on the amazing run and got to the Final Four. This is what I kind of, being a fan of a top-tier squad, being a fan of that, you got some fans that came in kind of on the tail end of things. They came in, when Carolina was winning, and there was a lot of winning going on, the Roy Williams years and the national championships. They came in during that time. They didn't sit through a Dean Smith like myself. That was a wonderful time. They didn't sit with Bill Guthridge, which was a very tough time. They didn't sit in Matt Doherty time, which was up and down. I think Matt Doherty kind of got like the short end of the stick on that one. I think he did because Roy went in there and won a championship with his squad the year after that. Now we go with Roy. And there were so many people wanting to get rid of Roy, it ain't even funny. There were times where people were uncharacteristic with Roy. Now you got Hubert Davis, who's going to be the future of this coaching squad. First African-American head coach for North Carolina. And then this is what we got here. Already want to get rid of him. Baby, throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's going to be 3 years, everybody. Why is everybody tripping? It'd be different if he was having losing season after losing season for 3 straight years. I don't understand that. Man got into the national championship. That Final Four where...
Okay, we don't have to go all the way down memory lane.
We have to do this. We have to do this right here. I sat through the Cooper Flag stuff. I sat through you talking junk that last time I was on this show, and you ran your mouth to me. And yes, Carolina got destroyed. I get it. No, I sat through it just fine. You're going to sit through this. You're going to like it. Mike Krzyzewski's last game. Oh, yeah. Sit down and you take that there, sir. It happened. Oh, wait, who was coaching that squad? Hubert Davis. Oh, exactly. Yeah, you better get out of here. That's what I thought. So, with that being said, it's not over yet. Relax, everyone. Relax, Tarheel Nation. We're going to be fine.
I don't know what happened to my video right there. There were some technical difficulties, but Jason joined the show on YouTube right now. I think I'm going to bring Jason in to talk some NBA and NFL here in a few minutes. He's asking, who else would you want? And
exactly,
Shan, I just think it's so ironic this extension happens because I was talking to a friend yesterday that, Hubert Davis, this team, UNC should not be missing the tournament, period. With that program history, with, people wanting to come play for UNC, you have to recruit, and even the veteran leadership, RJ Davis, how is he not lifting up his team? But UNC usually doesn't go for outside hires either. So do you think it was more hey, there's a guy we're comfortable with in terms of he understands the program, he understands the history and everything, rather than oh, let's go try to chase somebody who we don't even know yet?
Absolutely. That was the reason why that happened, because the coaching tree has worked over the years. It has worked. There have been some hits, there's been some misses. Bill Guthridge being a miss. There was Matt Doherty, who was up and down, but yet Roy Williams, once again, bringing the guy in from the coaching tree there. Roy Williams was bought in. Then Hubert Davis being bought in right after Roy Williams. So there's hope. That's what has to be understood. And this squad, yes, this squad has been tumultuous, has been up and down. But they're on a 4-game winning streak right now, going in 4 straight games. And the last time that Carolina got hot like that, the last time they got hot, they went to a national title. It beat a Duke team. Yet again, Caleb Love.
Whoa, my technical difficulties were a little mistimed right there. It's whatever. And Jason asking, is UNC a destination job anymore?
Still is.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes. If that job opened up, a lot of people would want to take that job. UNC and Duke, those are the two. And I swear we talked about this for an entire month last year. That is a blue blood program. Yes. You would be silly not to jump at it.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at it. I mean, and you also got to look at it as well, too. Carolina is missing, looking like they might be missing. They're missing out of the top 25. Kansas is missing out of the top 25. Gonzaga's missing out of the top 25. So is Baylor. Those squads were in the top 10 this year. This is the first time this happened in 55 years. So it can't be said that it's just Carolina. Carolina is that blue blood squad. Kansas is that blue blood squad as well, too. There are squads out there. Some of these squads are on the come up. Some of these squads are on the creep. The SEC has been playing exceptional basketball this year. I hate to say that because that was the ACC many, many moons ago. That's what they've done. The ACC has played remarkable basketball over the years. You can put any of those ACC squads against anybody in the nation, and they give them a run for their money. And there would be 9 times out of 10, there would be maybe 2 squads from the ACC in the Final Four at one point in time, or in the Elite 8. They would be in there. They would be on the hunt for a championship. This year doesn't look like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely the tide has turned, at least for this season with basketball. And we also had the tide turn a little bit in the NFL world, where the Kansas City Chiefs looked like they were going on a three-peat, but instead they lost to the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl, lost their chance for a three-peat, and Travis Kelce has decided to return for a 13th. That's Taylor Swift's lucky number 13 NFL season. And we don't have many Swifties on Boom Broadcast, and one of them is Wayne Thomas. And so we didn't bring in Wayne today because we didn't want to have him break out into a karaoke session. Maybe we can make that into a podcast. But I did bring in his co-host of Sideline Savants. He's also host of 3 from Deep 3 times a week. We got Mr. NY himself. We got Jason Calenzo in the building. Jason, I'm going to throw this one out at you first.
Let's go.
Travis Kelce coming back.
Travis Swift, yes.
What?
Travis Swift, yes.
Out of pocket. Out of pocket. It took him 30 seconds to be out of pocket, by the way. What do you think his motivating factor is? Because it could be, hey, he doesn't want to leave off a loss, like such an emotional loss against Philadelphia. It might be him chasing the record books and wanting to be one of the greatest tight ends of all time. Or maybe he just really appreciates Taylor Swift watching him from the press box every Sunday. What do you think his motivating factor is?
Well, when it all comes down to it, look, Travis Kelce is a football player. And these guys, when you're a real football player, you want the ball in your hands. You will die before they rip that pigskin out of your hands. Look, Travis Kelce has kind of been regressing the last couple of years. 2024, he only had 97 receptions, 823 yards, and he only had 3 touchdowns this past year. So he ranked 81st in touchdowns. So, I think he wants to really come back and prove that he is still one of the top tight ends in the league. So, he has something to prove. So over the last 2 years, he has been regressing. Look, he had 7 years in a row where he had over 1,000-yard season. So the last 2 years for him to kind of be struggling, I think he's taking that personal. And I think he's also taking the jokes personal. We joke around with, Mr. Swift and all that other stuff. But look, I think a lot of those guys out there would love to be in his shoes dating the biggest megastar in the world. But I think that really kind of bites at him a little bit, being a football player, and that's what he is. So I think Travis Kelce just wants to go out there and play ball and be a football player, and get back to being a dominant football player. Because this past year, I think hurt him, not just the loss in the Super Bowl, because they've had some losses before, but I think everything else wrapped into it, the drama, the jokes, the subpar season, I think that really got to him. So I think you're going to probably see a little more committed Travis Kelce this year, which I'd like to see, because I want him to finish his Hall of Fame career on a high note, not just constantly regressing back and just fading away. I think that would kind of hurt his legacy a little bit.
And we saw Noah Gray making strides this year, getting some more snaps, getting some more playing time. By the way, my buddy trying to take a shot right here at the ACC with South Carolina being 3-0 against them this year. I will say I appreciate you watching and everything, but focus on your own conference. You're like 1-13 in the SEC, so you can have that 3-0 record against the ACC. Granted, it was like to Boston College, and Clemson. That was a good game. It was a really high scoring game too. But appreciate you watching, my friend. Hope I get to see you the second Thursday of March over at the Weight Room Revival. It's always great hanging out and talking with you. Shan, what do you think Travis Kelce is returning to the NFL for in 2025?
I got to go with what Jason said there. That was very, very good. I really think that Travis Kelce's career is taking a backseat to Taylor Swift's success and the stardom that she has. We all talked about how, Travis Kelce is one of the best tight ends in the NFL. He's the best tight end. But, he's Taylor Swift's boyfriend. And, people say that who don't really casually watch football. The casual football fan knows, oh, that's Taylor Swift's boyfriend. But the football fan knows that is one of the best tight ends in the NFL. So I think that he kind of took that personally. I get it, because he is one of the best tight ends. He's still a featured target on that Kansas City Chiefs offense. He's one of the best downhill tight ends when it comes down to stretching the field, when it comes down to getting into the end zone. He's an obvious target in the end zone. That's what he does. He's been getting the bread for Patrick Mahomes over the years. But also, too, let's just be honest. We would have known if Travis Kelce was coming back with the outcome of the Super Bowl. If he would have won that Super Bowl, I think he would have sat down. I think it would have been over. He would have got that three-peat. It would have been a mountaintop experience, because it's the only three-peat in the NFL. He got a championship, 3 straight titles it's time to set it down. With that loss there, that's telling him, hey, it ain't over yet. I still got legs. I still got wheels. I can still play. We can get another championship. We can go out on top yet again. This Kansas City squad is not sunk. They got to the Super Bowl for a reason. Although there's some other people who say otherwise. With that being said, they still got to the Super Bowl. They still got there. They were able to compete. It was a tough game. Very, very tough game. But they got to the Super Bowl. They've been there before. They know how to win. They can do it. I think Travis Kelce's like, look, we can do it again.
Yeah, and you notice we used the image from the Super Bowl on the screen right here if you're watching us on the Boom Broadcasting YouTube channel, because that is a face of a guy who doesn't look content walking away.
No.
You know, whether that was the reason or not. Now, if he had won 3 Super Bowls, I could have totally see him riding off into the sunset. But, you know, greed is a powerful thing. When you just think you're making enough money, you want to make just a little bit more money. And I think it's the same way when it comes to the NFL, where you're like, hey, I'm on the best team right now. We're on a dynasty. We just became the first team to do a 3-peat. Why not do a 4-peat? So I wouldn't have been surprised if he had even returned if the Chiefs had won a Super Bowl. But he is going to, his legacy is going to be the guy who, like, he was a wide receiver. I mean, he was a wide receiver built like a tight end. He was the number 1 option, even when Tyreek Hill was there. And people thought when Tyreek Hill left, like it was all doom and gloom. No, because you have your wide receiver 1 here. He not only changed the NFL, but he changed fantasy football. Jason Wayne do the sideline savants. And the last 2-3 years, I was like, okay, Travis Kelce, I'm going to make sure I get him in the 2nd round, maybe even the 1st if I need to in some leagues, because he is a wide receiver 1 option. You just can't find that replacement anywhere else. But Travis Kelce spent a couple more years than his brother did in the NFL. He's going to be coming back in 2025. But guys, I am not quite buying this. Rob Gronkowski saying he might make a return to the NFL in 2025. Now, mind you, if you guys aren't familiar with Rob Gronkowski, he is going on 36 years old. He played 11 seasons in the NFL. He's been done since 2021. And even he was the 24/7 champion in WWE, and Vince McMahon had to teach him how to fall off a balcony. That is Rob Gronkowski. He loves TV. He loves being in the spotlight and everything. And so when our texter's getting like blown up with Rob Gronkowski might come back, I'm like, I will believe it when I see it. And not only that, I'll believe it when he puts on some pads and actually enters the game week 1 or week 2 or week 3 or however long it would take, because I do not trust Rob Gronkowski coming back basically after 3 years off, going on 4. It doesn't make sense to me, guys. Shannon, are you buying or selling Rob Gronkowski making a return to the NFL this year?
You know what, man? I'm going to do the weird thing. And I'm selling it. I don't think he's coming back, man. I think he's having fun. I think he's goofing. Now, let's be real about it, though. When Gronk was playing, when Gronk was on the field, he was one of the hardest dudes to bring down in the open field. One of Tom Brady's favorite targets. But Gronk was one of those guys who couldn't really play a full season either. He was one of those guys that did get hurt, did get injury prone. I think if Gronk does come back, he will get another injury, especially with the time off. Now, I know that some of these guys have played this game so long to the point where it's like riding a bike to them. They never forget. But sometimes the mind and the body send each other the wrong signals. So I think he's entertaining on TV. He's doing a wonderful job. He was talking about going to Denver. He's talking about going to the Broncos, which is kind of crazy to me. You know, I mean, you got a young upstart quarterback in Bo Nix. You know, you got a coach that can plug in, very good offensive coach. I mean, he's done wonderful things with Jimmy Graham with the Saints. He's done that, but I doubt it, man. You know what, hey Gronk, you know, it's cool story, bro. No thanks.
Yeah, Denver didn't even make sense to me, Jason. Like, are you buying or selling Rob Gronkowski back in the NFL? And if so, is it Denver?
I'm buying him making the effort. Look, Rob Gronkowski loves being on TV. He loves being a shock jock kind of deal. He does weird and crazy things. I can see him going into training camp and trying to make a team. I can see that. I can see him going to Denver because he has a rapport with Peyton. He likes Bo Nix. I could see him going there. I could see him suiting up. I don't know how much armor he's allowed to put on because, he had all that armor on. So I don't know if they can put him in a full suit of armor, make him look like Iron Man out there. I could see him making the effort and selling it for a TV show or something. But the first time he gets a licking and gets hit again and remembers what it feels like to be hit by a linebacker, I think he puts the football down and walks away. I think it's a cute story and it's a great way of getting people excited about maybe the offseason. Or again, I think he might be having some kind of show coming up where he's going to be a punter or a kicker. Maybe it's one of those where Eli Manning kicked the field goal there. Maybe he does some weird stuff like that. So it may be kind of gimmicky. Who knows? But I can see him doing it. Look, he stepped away in 2018, and retired and came back, to play with Brady. So I could see him coming back. He's done this before. So I could see him trying. But yeah, you get that lick after 3 years. You get a lot of those NFL players out there, that have had long hiatuses that have tried to come back, and they forget, or actually they remember really bad how hard those guys hit now. So great story. It would be great TV, but I don't see it being a viable thing. So it'd be kind of.
It would not go well. Shannon knows as well as I do, wrestlers will be like, man, I want one more run in the ring. And you've been gone 5-6 years and you just take that first bump and you're like, okay.
Yeah, that first ice bath, he's done.
Oh, yeah.
Done.
No chance.
Yeah, there ain't enough body armor for him to get out there and walk. He looked like the damn Tin Man out there. Walking around.
So if I had to throw this out at you guys and not preparing you for this question, I mean, Travis Kelce's coming back for another season. Gronk might not come back for another season. As it stands right now, who has the better legacy? Because Gronk, huge in the Patriots dynasty. Kelce, huge in the Kansas City Chiefs dynasty. Ooh. Shannon, I'm going to put you on the spot first when it comes to Kelce or Gronk as a great tight end.
It's got to go with Kelce on this one because Kelce's got the yards, he's got the numbers more than Gronk does. Now, Gronk can, of course, compete with the rings. He can compete with that. Yes, he can. But I think that when it comes down to it, Kelce's played more games. He's had more yards, more touchdowns, more appearances inside of the end zone than what Gronk has. Now, Gronk, mind you, I can't take anything away from him. He was a feature player, but Gronk had some injury problems. There were times where Gronk didn't play full seasons. He would come in and plug him in the playoffs, and he would be somebody great. But I got to go with Kelce when it comes to overall skill, the downhill presence, the fact that they plug him into a offense where he can split out at receiver or he can put his hand down as a tight end. I got to go with Kelce. I like him over Gronk. Gronk is great. I got to give credit where credit is due. But Kelce has been a mainstay on that offense with Kansas City Chiefs.
Jason, do you agree that it's Kelce?
I'm going to take the opposite. I'm going to start a little bit of a riff here. I'm going to go Gronk. Has the rings. Still a great pass catcher, but Gronk was probably one of the best blocking tight ends in NFL history. So I don't think he gets enough plug for that. Travis Kelce, not really known for that. Look, he's a really, really good tight end, But is he in the midst of the greats? Is he a Tony Gonzalez? I don't put him up there. I don't put Kelce up there with him. Unfortunately, I think he's great. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. But Gronkowski is going to be a Hall of Famer too. And I give Gronkowski the nod. His on-field presence, even when he was hurt and he was out there on the field, you still had to have somebody on him because he could still do damage. He could still block downfield. He could still be a decoy. He was a monster out there, and he was a huge, huge target. So give me Gronkowski. I think with the Super Bowl championships being that next to Tom Brady. So I think that greatness, the GOAT status of Tom Brady kind of rubs off a little bit on Gronkowski too. So I think they're always going to have that connection, especially when he went to Tampa Bay and kind of jumped on that team and rode with Tom Brady to another ring. So I'm going to have to go Gronkowski over Kelce. I think Kelce has some flaws in his game a little bit. He's had a few seasons where he was subpar. Last 2 seasons, he's regressed. His first 2 seasons in the NFL, he wasn't that spectacular. So give me Gronk. I think when it all said and done, when you lay it out on the table over time, I think that both of those guys are going to have positives checked on there. But I think Gronk just overall was a better tight end than Travis Kelce.
Wow. And to be fair, a lot of these are comparable metrics. Travis Kelce, a 3-time Super Bowl champion. Rob Gronkowski, a 4-time Super Bowl champion. Both of these guys were 4 first-team All-Pros. Rob Gronkowski had 5 Pro Bowls. Travis Kelce, for better or worse, in this day and age, who knows how much Pro Bowls are, warranted, but Kelce doubles them with 10. Both on the 2010s All-Decade team. And there's all these records that Travis Kelce has, like Gronk, most touchdowns this season by a tight end ever with 18. But when you look at the postseason, we're talking about postseason, career postseason receptions. That's a Travis Kelce record. Career postseason receiving touchdowns by a tight end 20. That's a record. Postseason receiving yards by a tight end. Like, Travis Kelce has rewritten the book. Consecutive 1,000-yard seasons by a tight end with 7. I mean, these are, and I'd go ahead and say these are probably 2 of the best tight ends we've ever seen, just period. But it is really hard to say Travis Kelce isn't, just because of him being a wide receiver 1 pretty much for Kansas City and changing fantasy football, changing football altogether.
They're fluff numbers.
They're not fluff numbers.
Yes, they are. Travis Kelce, just come on.
Come on. Come on. And that was my reaction when the Los Angeles Lakers got Luka Doncic. Now, if you notice, Boom Broadcasting still hasn't gotten over this. Three from deep, 3 times a week. It's been like the topic on probably 2 of the 3 episodes each week, just because of this sent ripple effect into the NBA, not only this year, but years and years and years to come. You don't see a guy who was a 4-time first-team All-NBA guy and who took his team to the finals last year, and 6 months later he gets traded. There is not another there's nothing to compare to it. And I see all these memes of like, hey, boyfriends, explain to your girlfriends like in this term, or hey, explain to football fans in this term, like what's the magnitude of this? There's not. Luka Doncic probably shouldn't have been traded. And he goes to the Lakers, and the Lakers are trending upward. Anthony Davis gets hurt in his Mavericks debut, and he's trending downward with the organization. Like, this is wild. But within a month, we had the Lakers, we have the Mavericks tonight at what I will only call the Staples Center. Thank you very much. What I will only call the Staples Center.
Yes.
home of WrestleMania 21.
Crypto.com stuff. No. Yes.
Lakers, Mavericks,
Woo!
and Luka Doncic gets to lay it on his former team. I mean, this is can't miss. This is 10 o'clock right after NXT. You have to be watching this game if you're a basketball fan, and I cannot wait to see what happens. And so I'm gonna ask these guys that age well, like who wins, who's the bigger scorer, so on and so forth. But I want to ask you guys first, will this game have a significant impact on Nico Harrison's future? It's one of 82 regular season games, but with the public being adamantly against this trade, with people in the crowd chanting "Fire Nico" and then getting dismissed and kicked out of the arena, to everything, I think the Mavericks would use this win to say, hey, we are trending in the right direction. We'll be okay. So, of how crazy this sounds, of 82 regular season games, is this a must win to keep Nico's job and to keep the Mavericks fans happy? I'm going to ask my guy who has the NBA podcast first, because he hit me with some hard-hitting questions earlier this week, so it's only fair I get the payback.
As soon as Nico hung up the phone with the Los Angeles Lakers, he lost his job, period. This game has no bearing on whether he's going to keep his job or not. Look, Anthony Davis is out. He's not even playing in this game, so I think the hype is not quite as big as it should be. Even if the Dallas Mavericks, for some reason, come in and win this game, I don't think it really matters. This trade sent echoes not only through the NBA, but through sports in general. It had everybody shook and talking and worrying about if they were going to get traded the next day. So it's like, if he gets traded, nobody's safe. But as soon as Nico hung up the phone with the Los Angeles Lakers and traded Luka Doncic, his job was done. There was nothing. He was getting nothing in return of equal or positive value. He was getting a broken Mr. Glass, street clothes Anthony Davis, who is proving his worth right now because he's going to be on the bench, not playing. I feel bad for Kyrie Irving, who reinvigorated his career playing next to Luka Doncic. He was written off. He was a pariah. He was a team killer. Then he went into Dallas playing next to Luka Doncic and has been a pillar of the NBA and has been playing out of his mind. Now, he's been playing really, really well the last few games without Luka, even though they just got blowed out by Golden State not that long ago. They did win 6 of the last 7 for Dallas. But Dallas can win every game in the regular season for the rest of this year and do some kind of noise in the playoffs, but it doesn't matter. They traded away their season ticket draw. They traded away their future for a broken guy, a role player, and a first-round pick. That doesn't save your job. That is probably, again, still can't wrap my head around it. De'Aaron Fox, the San Antonio Spurs trade, they gave more for De'Aaron Fox than the Lakers gave for Luka Doncic. Which, again, you see that and you go, why? Why would you even? I am a layman. I have my own NBA podcast. I'm a sports fan. I love it. I watch it. I'm not an NBA GM. And even I'm going, well, what? Do you guys not have any brains? And all because you don't think Luka is dedicated? I'm sorry. He's a 25-year-old superstar that you could have figured it out, sat him down, woke him up. Look, I want to sign you to a max contract. You're eligible for the Supermax deal. I need to see some more dedication out of you. Put the monster drinks down and let's figure this out. But no, you trade him away and then you try to make fun of him on the way out and you insult him and make fun of his work. You don't think he's going to come back and try to kill you guys? It boggles my mind that an NBA GM that has been doing this for years would do this. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. His job is done. The future of the Dallas Mavericks for the next 5+ years, I think, is done. Because now I guarantee Kyrie's not going to stay. I can see Clay wanting to quietly try to get the heck out of there. You're not a destination anymore. You have completely alienated your fan base. They literally want to tear that building down brick by brick. I don't care if you win every game for the rest of the year. The Dallas Mavericks ruined their franchise with this move. Period. Embarrassing.
Shannon, is Jason now a pocket for that?
Absolutely not. I remember where I was during that mass group text that we had. Yo, it was all night. Phone was going. I'm like, what is going on? I picked my phone up and I look at it at a sleepy glance, and I was just like, man, I'm going to bed, man. This is bull right here. I get up in the morning. I'm like, this really happened.
Fake news. You thought it was fake news.
I'm like, really? Like, like you said, Jason, I thought somebody took Shannon's phone and just spammed everybody and, got Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and just was like, you know what? Wouldn't it be cool if we just messed with the public and said Luka got traded? I said, ain't no way. When Mark Cuban said that whole thing where he talking about he would trade his ex-wife before he traded Luka, I said, there ain't no way that they're going to trade Luka like that. And it happened. I think about last year when Luka single-handedly played almost every single game, broken and battered and beaten, and got the Dallas Mavericks to the NBA Finals. They came up short. I get it. But that man played his tail off. Luka would not die. And he played his tail off, getting them there, getting Dallas to the promised land, only to fall short. That Boston Celtics squad played exceptionally well in the playoffs. Then this year, I mean, for real, Nico Harris, I'm on that right there. Nico Harris is done. That man is Jerry Krause right there. I mean, this is Jerry Krause level right here. I really think it is. I mean, Luka's 25 years old. That was the face of the franchise. Luka was selling tickets. He was one of the next big things in the NBA. They're talking about how Luka made the transition from European basketball to the NBA quicker than any NBA player.
Top five in the NBA.
Yes. I mean, they're saying that. And Luka was a draw. And he was playing himself. Kyrie Irving was so... all the stuff they said about Kyrie Irving. That man came back because he was playing with Luka. There's no way. We thought he was gone. That free agency, we were like, Kyrie's gone. There's no way he can resist going to LA. I figured Kyrie go to LA before Luka did. I figured that all day long. Go play with LeBron. I figured that was going to happen during the free agency. Didn't happen. He came back. I said, man, this dude really thinks he can win with Luka. And you know what? They were close to doing it. And they were close to making that happen. I don't understand. I mean, and that was it really even got me more than anything. Yes, it has to be. Yes. Indeed. Yes, sir. But what I don't understand it because, okay, so you talk about Luka is overweight and sluggish and all this other stuff. But you traded for a guy who can't play a full season? I don't understand the rationale. I don't get it. When I saw that Luka got traded, I said, okay, they better get something. They better get something out of this man. And I said, Anthony Davis? Really? This is the same guy who couldn't play a full season, sprained his pinky, and he's not playing for 10 games. I don't get it. And when my man Ryan Frick, who doesn't watch a lot of basketball on our Panthers podcast, makes a subtle joke about the Luka Doncic trade, when the minute of us talking about Panthers football, I knew it. After that, I said, oh, this trade is horrible. Ryan talking about basketball? Ain't no way. I mean, that man don't watch a lot of basketball. He don't watch that. Ryan, you my boy. I love you to death. But I don't get it. I mean, the rationale of the trade makes no sense. You pretty much said we're going to trade our best guy to LA and give LA a successor when LeBron retires. What? You helped out another team? You don't play there. You don't own that team, Nico. Really? And you're gonna kill your old friend. This is why Dallas ain't gonna ever win nothing. This is why the Mavericks are not gonna win a daggum thing. You were so close. A year ago, you were so close, and you had pieces, and you were getting there. And I get it that the season might not be going the way that you want it. I get it. But you make this trade, and then you have to turn around and face the nation and look at them and say, guys, we made a trade. And the trade was good. Fans is looking at you like, I'd leave too. I say, you know what? Fine. I'd cheer for Luka in LA and all. Nico Harris, good job. Good job, dude. Congratulations. Where's DJ Khaled at? Congratulations. You played yourself.
Yeah. And Max saying, we got first round in 2026. It's all good.
Oh, wow.
It's all good.
Maybe.
It might be the 30th overall pick, by the way. That's what it's looking like right now.
The worst trade in NBA history, probably in sports history. This is how big this is. This is like Herschel Walker. We're going to be talking about this in 30 years, if I'm still alive, God willing, about this trade. This was that epic and that egregious. It just blows your mind. We could talk about it for the next 6 months, and it'll be just as shocking and inexcusable for a GM. I think he loses his job. I don't think he ever works again in the NBA, because when this stain is attached to you, I think you're done. That is why the Dallas Mavericks as a franchise are done for years. This is going to haunt them for years.
I still don't understand it. I mean, I looked at this trade when it happened, the next day, through the week. I looked at it again before the show, and I still don't get it. I just don't understand. Nope. It'd be different if there was a rationale to this trade. I see nothing that benefits Dallas whatsoever. Nothing. I see all the benefit going to LA and nothing going to Dallas. Dallas pretty much they traded their future. Let's just leave it there. They traded their future.
I know they tried to get Giannis. I know, now it's coming out in the wash that they kind of shopped him. I think they wanted somebody else. It does, come on. That just because you tried to get, in 8th grade, I tried to trade for a Don Mattingly rookie card and I couldn't get it just because, you can't just say, oh, I tried to get somebody and this is all I could get. Again, unbelievable, disgusting trade.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah. And Max saying like nothing, like this was a pretty bad trade. And we could see just a glimpse of what this trade did tonight. And I think Nico's only saving grace.
He's dropping 50. I can see Luka dropping a 50-point triple-double just to show you, oh, I'm fat Luka. Okay, Here you go. And where's street clothes now? I'll make sure I hand Anthony Davis the game ball. Like, I can see that kind of attitude from Luka because of the way he was treated on the way out. It's bad enough you trade a guy, but you're going to poke the bear too. Yep. He's dropping some crazy numbers tonight.
So you got a 50-point triple-double?
50-point triple-double. I think Luka goes bananas tonight. He's been look, he already dropped 32 against the Nuggets, and the Nuggets are a tough team. But you're playing a depleted Dallas Mavericks team. Yep. No Anthony Davis, no Gafford, no Lively. They are heartbroken.
Yep.
Kyrie Irving is going to be there. I don't think he's going to be able to handle himself on the court. I think he's going to be that emotional where it's going to physically affect Kyrie Irving playing next to the guy he called his compadre. I mean, so I could see this being an ugly game and a franchise killer for the Dallas Mavericks. Period.
Shan, what's Luka's box score look like tonight?
I'm gonna say 45. I'm gonna say 45, 12, and 7 is going to be what Luka's going to do. He's gonna put the dagger. He's gonna end it. He's gonna put him to bed. He's gonna, Undertaker, put it in the coffin. That's gonna be him. Luka gonna come out with the purple glove tonight, though. It's over. I mean, put him in the coffin. I'm glad. I'm glad he's doing it because this makes no sense to me. I don't understand it. And then, but that's what I don't like either, is that this guy got you to the finals. This guy gave everything he had. And you know what? Luka had his share of, Luka, we're not going to sit here and say that he's totally innocent. We're not going to sit here and say that because there are things that he could have done better for himself, I'm pretty sure. But at the end of the day, it's the pedigree. That man single-handedly got that squad to the NBA Finals on bad legs and everything else. That man was getting hurt. He just would not die. He didn't take himself out of the game. There were times they said that he could. He didn't. And the West is tough. The West is very tough top to bottom. And just because they aren't where they were last year, you're going to chunk it up to Luka not being the guy. Yeah, sit him down in the office. Tell him, look, man, you know what? Supermax contract. They didn't want to pay him that money. I would have to say that's probably what it had to be. But yet and still, who cares? I mean, I still don't get it. But then they trade him away and they talk junk about him. Oh, he was out of shape and he wasn't dedicated. Listen. Who else? Tell me who you going to hand that team to after when Luka's gone. You're going to hand it to Kyrie. You're going to hand it to him. Kyrie's had the injury problems. Kyrie is older. You had a 25-year-old star right now. You had him on the squad. And you do that? You know what? Luka, kill him.
I mean, compared to Kobe Bryant, when Kobe Bryant was younger in the beginning of his career, how mature was he?
He wasn't.
He ended up having some issues. The Denver incident was like his wake-up call, yes. And then he became the Mamba. So, like, you give Luka the wake-up call. You do something to show him. Like, I'm 49, I'm not mature. But, when you're 25, how mature are you when you have a ton of money and you're enjoying your life? You're one of those guys that kind of just enjoys life. He wasn't a quiet guy. He was, he was a little bit flashy right. with who he was. So you figure it out. You get something and you figure it out as an organization. And this, to me, those comments that the Dallas Mavericks made were a failure of the organization. So you put that out there, and that made you look even worse. It's bad enough you made the trade, but then you insult his dedication and his physical ability to stay on the court. That's your fault. You employed him. You made him the face of the franchise. You sell tickets like crazy with his face on it. Sit him down in the offseason right after that finals loss. Do you see how you look right now? You see how you feel right now? You just lost. What are we going to do about it? How are we going to change that? So you challenge him and go through the offseason and you give him some of the tools he needs to be a little more mature. You get him some help. You get him a trainer. You get him a cook. You do whatever you got to do to invest in him because, yes, you're going to invest $300 million or whatever his max contract would have been. But how much money is he going to make you when you're on TV, when you're selling tickets, when you're selling merch? You're not selling anything right now. You're losing season ticket holders. You're going to lose being on TV because nobody wants to watch your team now. You are an embarrassment to the league and to sports in general because, again, this reverberated throughout the sports itself. So very disappointed. And I don't think that if Mark Cuban was truly involved in the day-to-days of this would have never happened. I think this would have never happened.
Absolutely
and
not.
It just, it is, again, you're a professional and that's the decision you make. I don't know how you could make it. And I don't know how you can go to sleep at night knowing as soon as you hung up that phone that you just did the worst mistake of your career.
And even better, what have we been talking about that the NBA has trouble with? Who is going to be the face of the league? With Wemby getting hurt. Wemby was the guy that was going to be the face of the league. He was the future of the NBA. This was going on. Global. And now you do this. And this was weeks before that even happened. This was weeks before that happened. Luka is now got an opportunity to take a team himself and learn from a LeBron James on top of it too, because LeBron is taking a back seat and letting Luka do his thing, which a lot of people really didn't think that LeBron would do. But that's what he's doing right now. He's like, look, I'm going out. It is what it is. Luka, they want you. Handle it, man. Go ahead and do your thing. And this is a guy, Ron. D-Wade was one of the guys that LeBron had that he could do that with, because D-Wade had to bring LeBron in and show him how to win. And that's exactly what was done. Now that LeBron knows how to win, he's going to hand it to Luka. And Luka's going to learn how to win. And that's going to kill Dallas even more. This is going to get them 4 and 5 years down the road. Luka's going to hold a title. He's going to hoist the title. And Dallas going to be mad. Now, I hope so. Good for them. Good job.
And Jason made the comment, too, that, nobody wants to watch the Mavericks, but guess what? We are going to watch the Mavericks tonight.
Everybody loves a train wreck, baby. Everybody loves a train wreck.
Watch them lose.
It's not going to be fun for Mavs fans. Shane going 45, Jason's going 50. I'm going to go ahead and go 60.
Hey!
LeBron's going to have a career night with assists, and it's just going to be like Luka. And he'll have like 34 in the first half and be like, I'm not done yet.
Oh, he's talking junk. Luka's talking junk out there, man. I mean, the man speaking to a female referee beforehand. This man going to talk junk all day, all game long.
It's going to be very entertaining. So I encourage people watching NXT before and then immediately after NXT go and watch this Lakers-Mavs matchup. But guys, we've had a stacked show. Talking about Gronk potentially returning, talking about Travis Kelce's return, talking about Hubert Davis getting an extension. This was a perfect Tuesday for Outta Pocket. And what made it perfect was the guys joining me right here. Jason from 3 From Deep, 3 times a week, dropped an episode. I was actually a guest on his show yesterday. He'll have another show tomorrow. And then Quick Hits with Shannon. Hopefully return soon, my friend.
Yes. It's going to be a different format. I'm looking for more shorts. I'm looking for shorter episodes. I'm going to try to get you with more more content during the week. So there'll be more fun stuff. We're going to have a little bit of fun with this. It might not be like a show atmosphere. I kind of felt like, I needed to have like a show kind of, and I'm sitting back here. The show is called Quick Hits. Hit them quick, get out. So that's what I'm about to do.
It's what he's about to do, but these guys have been huge for Outta Pocket and Boom Broadcasting and just personal friends as well. So I'm very appreciative for them hopping on today. Guys, go enjoy your Tuesday night and go enjoy Luka dropping 60 on the Dallas Mavericks. But for Michael Davis, Shannon Smith, Jason, this has been Outta Pocket with Michael Davis on Boom Broadcasting. We'll catch you guys next time.
Well, that's it. I really hope you enjoyed it. We had a ball making it. Thank you very much.